Hello.
Hello.
Did it scare you guys? Did something good happen?
Oh, I see.
You know I can't read Japanese, right?
What language is that?
They're asking why we're here.
Oh yeah, no, we're here today to talk about Durarara, our take on it. I guess for those that don't know, Durarara is a fantastical story about three different factions, three intertwining lives, set in Ikebukuro. I'm not so sure what time frame this was. Andre?
I believe it was like mid 2000s, like between 2000 and 2010. To be exact, I can't really tell you because it's not like they have any groundbreaking technology at the time, like they do in like Sword Art or anything like that, that really sets it apart.
Cool.
And I don't really think they mentioned it there.
Yeah, and so we're back here today with, I don't know why I'm doing the introduction, but Mansuki and Angelo.
How are you?
I'm good. You guys were scaring me there for a second with this.
dying in there. It's hot in there.
Yeah,
Buzzing.
you've been wearing that for the last half hour.
Yeah.
These guys have heads.
It's pretty comfy. I'll try it on.
Yeah. They're Dillahans.
Oh, they're. So, starting out with shoutouts. AniTaku Men.
Yeah, we're gonna start out with shoutouts, and I'd like to give a shout out to someone that's been supporting me in Mansuki since day one. It's Nadia Shiri. Love you, Nadia.
Could be Nadia.
And basically, I want to invite my very dear friend, our friend, Nick from Shine Media,
Shine Media.
to talk Grand Theft Auto with us next week, or
Nice.
next episode.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised if bottles start popping. Don't worry, Joe. They'll be paid for in advance.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Don't give me that look.
As long as there's
Might as
no
well make some
vending
coin
machines
while I'm at
flown,
it,
that's
right?
Well, speaking of Shine Media, it's kind of bright in our set right now.
I know. We got
Some
Yeah,
amazing
We've got
Yeah.
lights
We got
on
lights.
set. They're
Let's get a
real.
shout out
They're
to,
legit.
It's getting
Eileen.
better.
Yeah,
I can see.
slowly
the
we're
light.
progressing.
I can actually see his full. I love your hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like we're here to talk to and obviously we're trying to create our own opinions, our own reviews of it. You guys are the main head guys, so I want to ask you, what do you think about the series?
It's amazing. Ever since I started actually reading the anime reading the manga before the anime, and I really like it, especially the artwork of it. Like if you get the physical books, every book cover is actually really good.
Cool.
Actually stands out. to me.
Actually, when I walked into the restaurant at Everest, and you saw me reading Durarara,
Yeah.
and then you were like, "What are you reading?" And I
Oh
was
my
like,
gosh,
"I'm
is that how
reading
you guys
Durarara," and then you were like, "You gotta be shitting me!"
Is that how you guys?
and then, well, that was like probably the fourth or fifth time that I talked to Joe.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh man, I still remember the day that Angelo walked in with that book, and I'm like, no way! Like I knew he was a gamer, but he watches anime, and slowly my world just opened up. One
so I'm
person
gonna
at a
ask.
time.
So you
And
find out
then
that
you were
this-
like,
that's anime
you
that-
gotta watch the anime. That does the manga no justice. It's totally different.
So it's
totally
different. Yeah, it's
separate.
actually different.
Yeah.
They have their good points in each one.
Well, yeah.
I think it's.
So, just a little bit of the character breakdowns. We've got the three kind of like main characters, the main factions of the show. We've got Ryugamini Mikado, which is a young teenager, just a little bit kind of introverted, moving from the suburbs into the big city. In this case, the setting is Ikebukuro. He gets to meet up with Kita Masaomi, a blonde, outgoing, outlandish teenager, very friendly. The Joker, the fool of the story, so to
Yeah.
speak. And we have Anri Sonohari.
Yes.
Sonohari Anri. Once again, a shy girl.
Sonohara, actually.
Sonohara?
Sonohara, yeah.
Sonohara Anri. She's shy. She's, kind of had a traumatic past. And these are the main figureheads. Aside from that, you've got Celti right here. Celti Sturluson,
The Headless Rider.
the Headless Rider.
Actually, she was introduced as the Black Rider.
The Black
Yes.
Rider.
Yeah, that's
Weird.
right.
And then they kind of like switched up on us a little bit. Her roots are from Irish myth, the Dillahan, kind of like the Headless Rider that goes around reaping the souls of those who are about to die. I've got Shinra, which is the underground doctor. Who is the underground doctor? I apologize. You've got Heiwaji Mashizuo, an angry, violent bartender. Orihara Izaya, kind of like an information broker. There's a plethora of other characters
Don't
out
forget
there.
about Simon.
Simon
Yes.
Sushi, he's a black Russian guy, speaks
Sells
horrible
sushi.
Japanese, and I'm pretty sure in the episodes that wasn't even real Russian that he was speaking,
Yeah.
No, I
but
don't think so.
it's out there.
Well, if you get handed by the same guy with the sushi platter, where do you go?
Well, sushi wa iyo. I don't know.
Like
It's
a
like-
huge
that's-
ass D's black dude.
Yeah, I mean that. You
Sushi
can't-
Russian.
So these are the main kind of group of characters. We've seen a lot of different arcs out there, and I want to ask you guys, what's your favorite character? Who's your favorite character? There's a whole bunch of others. I'm going to touch on those are like the main
For me
six.
personally, the main character of Mikado, just for the fact that the twist in the manga, when he revealed that he's the leader of the daughters, kind of was like, what?
Right, like when you find out that he's the one who started the dollars,
Yeah.
right? Oh man, that was
When
the
he
moment.
summoned all those members
Yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah, that first scene.
That is badass. Yeah.
cool. Angela,
I'm gonna have to go with Izaya.
Izaya.
Just
So
because
you're
he's
a
a
dark
badass.
person, in general.
Pardon?
You're a dark person in general.
Well, yeah, I just love the badass. I love everything about him, like the villain, the way he portrays himself, the way he mind fucks you.
A
Yeah, it's
solid
like a two-sided.
villain.
It's like a two-sided villain, though. It's like it's acting like a villain, but at the same time, it's good.
Well, he loves humans.
Yeah.
That is what it is. Andre?
I'd have to go with Shizuo.
Sorry, Shizuo?
Shizuo, yeah.
Okay.
Why? Simply because I swear they made his character just to be that funny guy that every time you see him you start laughing because in almost every scene you see him with a flying vending machine.
I was gonna ask, does it include vending machines?
Yes, yes it does.
Yep.
And street signs.
Street signs,
And
vending
fighting with
machines.
street signs.
The,
Yeah.
his backstory, the first thing you see is with him in a refrigerator.
Yeah, he rips like he rips at least like one street sign every day. Like every day,
Yeah.
Every episode.
every episode.
And what about Kevin?
It was for sure Simon. It just because the character himself was like really out of place, right? But the fact like he would just randomly be there trying to get people to go into a sushi shop, and when you go eat sushi, he'll just pop out of nowhere and be like, "Hey, it's like you want to try some of this stuff?" Yeah, he's kind of awkward, but I like him a lot.
My personal favorite has got to be Shinra, the underground doctor, because he's a bit of an interesting mix. Like he is conniving, he is clever. At the same time, he's also directly in touch with Celti. He lives with Celti, so he kind of is exposed to the urban legend that is Celti. Because he's out there, he's wandering the streets, and he's also in touch with different communities and whatnot. But he also gets to live with a real deal, and she's very much an at-home kind of bitchy girlfriend almost, right? And it's crazy. He's whipped. He just loves her. That's my take on
It's like a
Shinra.
love
I
triangle.
like the love story.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Love
no,
story is
it's a good story. And you know what? The backstory on Shinra when he was a kid, and his dad having had him dissect her at the tender age of 4 just blows my mind. Like, why would you do that to a kid?
Yeah.
To learn about the human body. Oh man.
I still kind of find it twisted how he's in love with a girl that has no head, right? And he's fine with it. He's surrounded by people who have heads around, but like the Celti who lives with him, like he just isn't loving. I just can't wrap around like they love a girl who doesn't have a face, but I guess who doesn't talk to you really except through text messages.
Just imagine. Just
Has
imagine.
it sounds weird, but has a nice body.
Wait, how does it
Well,
get had?
I'm not gonna touch upon that. I guess it kind of really boils down to who we like and whatnot. There's a couple of arcs in the story, from the slasher arc to the factions, to even the search for the head.
Yes.
I'm kind of putting it out of order, but those are like the 3 main stories. And
Like for me, the best arc is like the faction.
the
Because, like,
factions, yeah, okay,
Because like it kind of unveiled their secret lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
true. I think the search for Celti's head
Celti's
was
head,
a
yeah.
really good one,
Yeah,
because
I like that
it
one a
was a lot. There was a lot of action. There was a lot of chase. They actually involved a lot of good backstory to build it up. I mean, without that arc, then the
Celti
factions
doesn't
couldn't
make
have
sense.
existed. And Celti
So-
couldn't have
Celti
been
doesn't make sense,
intervened, yeah. And in that aspect, what are your favorite episodes?
Well, I'm gonna have to go with when I found out Kida when he was the leader of the Yellow Scarves, because you would never think a Joker like that could be a leader of anything.
Yeah. Yep, and
You know
you know,
what I
like
mean?
you saw the guy like in the early episodes
And
being
even-
pushed around by other yellow scars. He's like, I don't recognize you. Who are you?
And then how he kicks the shit out of the guy that's trying to take over his position.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a badass scene.
That was a really badass scene.
How
And how he
actually
takes a
is.
crowbar to the head.
Yeah, and just walks it off.
It's just like, oof,
Well, anybody can do that.
sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
sure,
You
yeah.
have it straight on you.
Sure.
Andre, what about you?
I would have to say the scene where they first introduce Izaya and how he schedules to meet up with that girl, has her kidnapped, saves her, all just to prove that she didn't really want to die. And it's all really just to play a mind game with her, just to introduce his character. Like, what other anime does that? They play this whole mind game that involves you to actually think, just to introduce how he's the villain of the whole series.
That is true. I mean, you know, you think about it. No, you don't really have a character that actually is able to manipulate everything like that in such a timely order.
He's a badass and he's weird at the same time.
Yeah, yeah, he is.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What game is he playing? That board game.
Oh no, that's like chess and shogi and
Shogi.
Chinese
Shogi,
chess and everything all mixed. I don't even know. I don't even remember. I know there were like 3 different sets of pieces.
Nobody knows what that
It's
is.
the game of life.
Well, no. If you think about it, the core existence of that game kind of it makes a good example of how he sees people, because you know, if you're talking about just a pawn or knights or chess or queens or
Yeah, but
sorry.
you're slapping anything down.
Right, exactly. But everybody has nobody would think that, you know, you could only move in a certain way when you can actually move multiple different ways that don't correspond to the rules of the game. So that's my take on it. You know, back on track.
Yeah, favorite
Matsuki?
episode is like when Ryuga meet Mikado, when they found out that the doctor had Southeast head, so they went to the hospital and the doctor is actually waiting for Mikado,
The pharmaceutical company, right? Yeah.
which is like you won't even think that this guy is the leader of the dollars, because just imagine a harmless little kid just moved into the city and all he did is one text messages saying everybody who doesn't have their phone out are the enemy. So everybody
Yeah.
is like 1,000 people in that area
Yeah.
all has their phone out and 3 people doesn't. Just
Yeah, no,
imagine
that's
those
it's
3
crazy
people.
because like what we studied the dollars, right?
Yeah,
the
the dollars.
meet,
He's
the very
actually
first
the-
dollars
yeah.
meet. Yeah.
He's actually the leader of the dollars. Just imagine if you're the minority, you will shit your pants.
Probably.
Everybody's phone is ringing, and then everybody that's got that phone,
Yeah.
sort of that got text message,
message.
and says, "Look at the people whose phone isn't ringing,"
Yeah.
and then everybody's
Who
eyes are
doesn't-
on you.
Who doesn't have their phone out?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Or yeah,
Yeah.
and then boom, look at that.
And still nobody knows who he is.
Yeah.
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 And somehow he managed to conceal the fact that
Yeah.
he was the leader of the dollars the whole time.
Yeah.
And walk away.
Well, it was a
Walk away.
username, right? It's just a
It's a
username.
username,
Just
yeah,
sending
yeah.
it out, but it won't show.
And what's more crazier is Isaiah set this all out.
Sorry.
You know how he became the leader of the others? Isaiah set all this up.
No,
He
Isaiah
started-
created the following.
He created the following. He
for
get the
Mikado.
idea, he made it work for Mikado as a random member, and he set the following.
Yeah.
So everything actually revolves on Isaiah, this whole show.
Isaiah's just a master manipulator.
Yeah.
He's an information broker.
He is. Kevin.
The bartender's name was
Shizuo.
She's a wolf.
Shizuo
Yeah,
Heijima.
Shizuo. So
Heiwa
my
Jima.
favorite scene was pretty much when
So what Kojima?
I think it was like not the real mother, but the mother who had like the dagger. She summoned all these zombies
Oh, Saika, right?
Yeah, the
to go
Psycho.
after him, right in the park when with Celti.
Mhm.
And then
Oh,
all of a
yeah,
sudden
he's just beating the
he's
shit
just
out of
beating
all
the crap out of everyone. And then afterwards, he learned to stop at the right moment when they came to his senses.
Mhm.
And I thought that was a pretty cool scene because from childhood to the like present time of his lifetime,
Mhm.
like he could never control his power. Like every time he's angry, he would smash everything and anything in his way, right? But at that moment when he was able to stop it, he was even like surprised, like, oh, I mean, finally control my powers, right? I think that was a pretty cool scene.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of tying into. I mean, even though my favorite character is Shinra, but my favorite episode has got to be the backstory on Heiwajima Shizuo.
Yeah.
You know, you've got the guy, kind of like the very first beginning opening scene of the episode where they kind of open up with Heiwajima walking along the streets with his buddy, or who he's supposed to protect during like, the debt collection. And he's walking from right to left past all these other characters, and he's just in a horrible mood, a shitty mood. Then it kind of like reconvenes on his memories when he was a kid, how he's always fighting, how he's always breaking his bones, his body's breaking, gets stronger, breaks again, gets stronger again. It also kind of touched on, how violent he was, even though he's not a violent person by nature. It's just that his body reacts to that. And I just really like how they wrapped it up on the same kind of take with him walking from left to right this time in a much better mood when he's passing by Simon, when he's passing by Kadota, and then he wrapped it up by talking to Celti.
Yep.
That was kind of like a touching episode for me. I mean, not as much action, but it was still funny nonetheless.
Oh, yeah.
And it was also when he met Isaiah for the first time.
Oh yeah.
And that's when the fights broke out, and he just wanted
The
his
lifelong-
regret was he didn't get a chance to kill Isaiah right then and there.
Yeah. Then the lifelong war began.
Yeah.
Vending machines thrown.
Poor vending machines.
Yeah.
All those casualties.
I mean, there's just so many things about Durarara as an anime, bringing together so many different stories and yet wrapping it all up in such a timely manner. Except for now, Andre,
Oh,
you
yeah.
told me that there's Durarara season 2,
Yeah.
So
Season
what do
two
you
which I'm
guys
totally
think?
stoked about.
What do you guys
Yeah.
think about it?
I wonder what they're gonna do. Like, there.
Oh, it's
the
gonna
kid.
be a continuation of the second arc.
Yeah.
Yeah, but do you think the kids?
Yeah, they introduced like that character right at the end that bumps into Mikado at the subway.
The subway.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a feeling he's gonna play a part, and I feel that like we haven't seen the end of Celti, because I feel like she's still gonna go after her head after
You
all that
think
time.
so?
Yeah.
I think she's pretty content where she is.
Yeah.
No, I have a
But I
feeling
still
that
thought that
something's
she
gonna
would at
change.
least try to find her head and be like, hey, it's like.
Because
I'm a
that's the
head-
whole point of being a Durahan,
Yeah,
like
and
searching for a
decide
head.
whether or not I want to keep my head or not, right?
No, the
whole point
Dolahan is someone that always has their head by the other side, though.
Yeah, but you
Yeah,
have to,
that's
but you
why
have to
they have-
remember that Isaiah's whole plan was she's supposed to be the one that chooses. She's supposed to be a Valkyrie that chooses a guardian or whatever and leads them to heaven or whatever. You really think he's gonna give up that easily?
Well, I guess that remains to be seen.
Yeah. So hopefully they touch on that in the new season.
Yeah.
Probably will.
I don't know if
But
you
I-
guys.
That'll be
But
pretty
I think
interesting
she
though.
is content the way she is.
I mean, I like that closing scene with her and Shinra.
Yeah.
That was cute. Her sitting out there taking the tan, and it's like, oh wait, are you trying to provoke me? And he's like, what? What did she say? Something like,
Yeah.
what do you think?
He asked if she was trying to seduce him, and she said yes.
Yeah. One of the things I'd like to touch upon is Durarara is done by the same people that did Bacano.
Bacano.
Right.
And there was actually a huge cameo in, I think, episode 6 or 7,
Mhm.
where Isaac and Miria from Bacano, because they've lived for hundreds of years now,
Yeah.
they've lived for 200-300 years, and they somehow made it to Japan. You see them during the Dollars meet.
Mhm.
They're like, what's this? Like, we've got this text, and everybody's like around us. Look, everybody was got them.
So like
That was
you
good
like
there.
introduced Bacano and Durarara. What do you like more? Durarara or Bacano from the same creator?
Bacano is actually really interesting because, well, we've got Durarara who's...
Yeah, it's a strange progression as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because Durarara, you've got 3 underlying intertwining stories all at the same time. Bacano
It's the
is
same
3 separate time
Timelines
frames,
with the same
timelines,
character.
for the same character, set of characters, and you see them progress from, 1600s, 1800s, and then the mid 1800s.
From Edo, the modern and stuff.
Yeah, to the Prohibition,
Yeah.
so or like early 1900s. You've got characters that are just, there's not a lot of time. There's only 13 episodes, but they develop characters so well, so quick, so fast. You kind of like really get attuned to every single character and what they do. So for those of you out there, it's a bit of an older anime, but it's Bacano
Mhm.
from 2006.
Really
Pretty
old. I
awesome.
remember watching that way back then.
Yeah, but
Pretty
still fantastic.
Yeah.
Still holds up.
Yeah, it does.
The
I mean,
art
you
style,
watch
yeah.
Durarara, you like it, you'll like Bacano. You'll even see that the opening scene, the opening animation, is pretty much like an older version of Durarara. Like Durarara is much more improved in terms of the music and the animation.
I like the
behind it.
music.
The J-Rock.
Yeah.
It's good.
Who doesn't like J-Rock though? Just to be honest. Like all the viewers, who doesn't like J-Rock?
I don't like the intro, like where they changed. I think
Well, they changed
like a minute
opening.
in, and
Yeah.
then they change they
Opening?
do a
The
recap.
opening changed. I think it was like what, episode 16.
13.
Usually 13, yeah.
Yeah,
13 is the main cut-up. It's
Yeah,
like
I
half
I wasn't feeling the first part. When I heard the other one, I actually sat through the whole.
It's like D&D, there's only 13 episodes per arc, and then they switch arcs. They try to keep
Yeah,
it at that
that's
time
true.
frame.
So it's
So Joe, I have a question for you.
Yes,
Out of the whole 25 episodes?
25.
25.
What episode blew your mind the most?
It still had to be Hyoji Mashizuo, his backstory. It was good.
Yeah, I
don't
get
know,
to agree with that.
It kind of really got me, kicking into it, like understanding it a little bit more. I mean, after that, every single character had their own backstory episode too. Shinra with the story on Celti. You've got Izaya's origins. You've got Kira's origins as well. Everybody actually had a chance to kind of meld their story into the main storyline, so that was pretty good. But
What about you, Kevin?
I think it was when the dollars and the yellow scarves, they were having their kind of thing going on, and everyone's phones started going off, even the yellow scarves, right? And then there was a part with that, wasn't there?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
when Hito is attacking that other guy.
And then pretty much, I think there was something going on about the yellow scarves and the dollars when I think
that's
at the
closer
war.
towards the end,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
the war,
it was at the end where like
war.
Hito went to attack
everyone's
the
phone
guy.
went off, and it's cool how you were talking about the beginning when they were trying to get all the dolls together. Then people were like, "Oh, who doesn't have a phone is the enemy, right?" I like how they kind of indirectly tied it to it, where they just had everyone all at once had their phones up. Be like, so you look around, you're like, "Oh, so who's actually the enemy then? Like, who's real? Who's not?"
And then they're all like melded together.
Yeah, and you
One-
find out some of the dolls are in the yellow scarves as
Yeah,
like,
they joined just
yeah.
for that like one thing.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Eric?
Didn't really blow my mind, but when favorite episodes when Salty moved to Japan and compared to a horse or motorcycle,
Oh yeah.
and the motorcycle still neighs
Yeah, it makes horse
sometimes.
noises. It's a motorcycle that makes horse noises.
I died in that episode.
Wait, so her motorcycle, can it actually like become like a shadow of a horse? Because I noticed,
No,
I think there was,
his horse fused into the motorcycle.
Oh, did it?
Yeah,
Okay,
the
yeah.
spirit of the horse.
The spirit of the horse,
Yeah.
because it doesn't have a horse anymore because she's being hunted.
okay, because all I saw was like pretty much some scenes where the horse was just incorporated in the shadow.
Mhm.
So I wasn't sure if the motorcycle was the horse or.
So basically, the Dahan's horse is like it comes from the shadows.
Mhm.
That's incorporated, but it still has its own spirit. So it's always with her. So when she moved into the modern age, it's like I cannot use a horse anymore, especially I'm in Japan. So
Yeah.
she stumbled upon this broken down motorcycle that she
Oh,
used
no,
her
that's
horse
it, yeah.
with.
Celti has got to be the most like attractive, faceless female
Sexiest.
heroine in an anime I've ever come across.
It's that leather
I
suit,
mean,
man.
yes, it's that one piece, it's that slight like curvature, and especially when she's with Shinra. Come on,
Especially when she pulls out the sight,
what?
that sight,
Oh yeah, the scythe.
the sight.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know
Shadow
about
side.
that. That's implying something very different with you guys. I don't know what you're all into. I'm just saying, just admiring the artwork and.
I was just trying to think what he was saying.
Yeah.
Anyways, Angela, what about you?
When that, I forgot the girl's name though. When that girl, that Mika, when she gets introduced and everybody thinks that Celti's head is hers.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then it was just spoiler alert.
that's
That
a
she
surgery.
was,
What spoilers? We already killed the anime. at this
No, I
point.
mean that's true. Well, we talked about the fashion, we talked about the war, but I mean in terms of like that surprise there,
Mhm.
nobody realized that was just like
Plastic
reconstructive
surgery.
Plastic
Yeah.
surgery. And it was
Even
just
him though. It was like when he found out, he was just like, "Oh man."
he's broken.
Yeah, but he still stayed though, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because like he realized that his love for her wasn't real enough or strong enough to tell the difference between her and this other Japanese girl that was stalking him down.
Yeah.
So
Well, she went with the one with the body, so instead of just
Yeah.
a head.
yeah, he should have went with the body. I mean, it's not like he ever saw the body when he first came. It's all right. He saw just the head inside
Yeah.
that.
It's just the head
that
she
Beauty
does.
and the
Yeah.
Beast kind of thing. Yeah.
That blew my mind.
Yeah,
That's
no,
seriously
I think
where I
that
was
gave
just
us all a
like,
run for our
what?
money.
Wait, who? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, speaking of her though, like in the anime and the manga, it's different how that happened. In the manga, she got beaten up by the same guy.
Really?
Yeah. He beat her to that, almost to that, and then she got plastic surgery.
Wait, in the anime, all he did was just ram her head to a wall. And that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
She
it's-
got beaten by a bat in the manga.
oh.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
And then she got a plastic surgery, so I thought she died because she got like badly beaten by a bat, and then she just got a plastic surgery.
And then that's what showed up with your face.
Yeah.
And-
Right.
That's where it all makes sense.
Okay.
All right.
Alright. So that's our discussion for Durarara.
Yeah.
Wow.
So do you guys
Wow.
like it?
Wow, wow.
Wow.
I love it.
That's
We all love
mark
it.
in there.
You all love it?
Yeah.
So
Next week?
It's
Next
definitely
week.
different, but still lovable all the same.
Yes.
What's
So
going
ne-
on next week?
Grand Theft Auto.
Auto Grand Theft.
GTA.
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 Not my jurisdiction, that's for sure.
GTA. So if you guys like this video, don't forget to comment down there.
Right down that way, I think.
And always
Subscribe,
like.
And
Stop distillery.
Right, could.
Like
Remember,
it,
L
like it.
becomes the R and
Yeah.
the B becomes
But like
the
it.
V becomes the B.
The B.
Raiku.
Like it.
I Raiku.
all right,
Well, in
guys.
that case, thanks very much, guys.
Thanks
Thanks
for
for
watching.
watching.
See y'all
Next week.
around.